Record scratch, freeze frame. You're probably wondering why the episode is so short today. Solo dadding today. Wasn't able to get an episode in the can on Sunday night. And then I had to record this episode. I had to try to do it in the 1 hour that he was napping. He did not make it the full. I had to go calm him down. And then too much time passed and I was out of this. So I just wasn't able to do the full show today. Apologies for that, folks. Still got to, there's still stuff in, it's still an episode. It'll be, let's do the show. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is that you are listening, folks. Thank you very, very much for listening. Date today is Cinco de Mayo, 5th of May, year of our Lord, 2025. Welcome to yet another edition of the Coping Hour, hosted by Nicholas Single, a.k.a. Botan Noah. I have not been taking care of myself recently. That's not how I really wanted to start the show. Tonally, that's not really the direction we're going at all. It's just, I don't know why I said that first. It just kind of came out. Because what I was about to say is, again, it's not totally the same at all. I was just going to say, I've been watching Harry Potter recently. And I've gotten mentally back into that cycle. Every 2 years, I like to go back and rewatch all of the Harry Potter movies. Watched them a bunch as a kid, but now every couple years, I like to relive them as an experience. Lord of the Rings is the same. At this point, I do it every 5 years, especially if you're watching the extended editions. You got to set aside a whole week to get through all three of those damn movies. But I'm in the middle of the Harry Potter cycle again right now. I got some notes, just off the, was just thinking about it. Fourth movie we just watched last night, Goblet of Fire. It was my favorite as a kid. It was between that and Prisoner of Azkaban, the other movie that we will be talking about. Just rewatched both of those. Those were my two favorites growing up. What's crazy, though, about the fourth one is there's straight up a terrorist attack that happens at the beginning of the movie at the Quidditch World Cup, and it is not mentioned really one other time or has anything to do with anything for the rest of the movie. And you have, the Minister of Magic and then whatever Barty Crouch did. You have these two, high-ranking government officials just, fucking around at Hogwarts while this tournament is going on. I'm like, dog, I would imagine that this is the biggest, athletic competition that happens in the Wizarding world. The Quidditch World Cup, there was a terrorist attack. Tens of thousands of people, if not greater, died, were killed, murdered. And it has nothing to do with anything for the rest of the movie. You go back to the third movie, there's even a moment where Harry's talking about Sirius Black. He's like, because at the time he believes that Sirius killed his parents, it's not true. We'll get to that in a second. And Harry's like, if I find him, I'm going to kill him. But he's like, if I find him, I'm going to kill him. And I remember as a kid growing up watching these movies, they were the big kids to me. When they were 13, I was 5. So you know what I mean? I was like, whoa, these are the cool kids. These are the big kids. So I was like, yeah, Harry, yeah. I watched that back now. And I'm like, what the fuck? You're 12, for real. You're a kid. I'm going to kill him. It's so dumb. But then it also kind of got the gears spinning for me because have you seen this? Have you heard about this? So there's that new HBO Harry Potter TV show that's coming out. And within the last month, they announced the castings, John Lithgow playing Dumbledore. I think that's a fair play. Okay, so the real thing that the internet was totally normal about and nobody had anything crazy to say over was the fact that Snape is now black. And I was like, okay, that's fine with me, but if we're doing it, then we really need to do it. So I'm thinking, okay, in the movies, Sirius Black was played by Gary Oldman. Sirius Black, Gary Oldman. I was like, okay, so if we're just kind of throwing the playbook out to some degree with this new TV series, that's fine, but Sirius Black is now Dishonest White, and it's played by Cat Williams. And that's as far as I got with it, because then I started to do the dialogue in my head, and I was like, but I'm not doing the voice. But I'm not going to do Cat Williams as Dishonest White in this new Harry Potter series. But then, okay, if we're just, let's let the gears keep spinning on that. Most dishonest white. Off the top of my head. Most dishonest white person of all time. Colin Powell. Could be Colin Powell. Lied to the UN about Saddam Hussein possessing weapons of mass destruction. He knew that he was lying when he did it. And a guy who was otherwise looked at pretty favorably was responsible for 1 million people dying in Iraq. And he was black. He wasn't even white. So the most dishonest white of all time was a black man. Wow. It's Colin Powell for lying to the United Nations about Saddam Hussein and his possession of weapons of mass destruction. But the real reason that you are probably here today, ladies and gentlemen, is to hear about some hoops. Had some Game 7s happen. Most notably, wow, the Rockets just still, they will never beat the Warriors. Ever. I mean, ever. I thought it was going to be kind of funny going into the series if Houston won, because I was like, wow, after all this time, when Houston just kind of like completely restructured what they were from even like 5 years ago, like completely flipped it on its head, really accelerated their own timeline because they just did smart shit. Like, people criticized the Fred VanVleet thing when they went after him because they were like, I don't know, like he's fine, and they just, but it worked for Houston because they just paid a good veteran who like played on a good team before. And, like, Houston also had been drafting super well. Like, it just kind of happened. I don't know. They just got lucky with some picks, and they made some smart moves. And so, like, good for them. And so they spent all this time and all this money originally doing, like, Maury ball shit, literally building their team only to beat the Warriors, and that was it. Because if they beat the Warriors, then it did not matter who came out of the East, even if it was always going to be LeBron at the time, right? It never worked then. And then they finally, like, the Warriors have done a whole song and dance. And, Clay's gone now. And now Houston finally gets over the hump. Nope. All of that out the window. No. It just doesn't matter. No. It's Golden State. Houston will never lose to, or they will never beat Golden State. It's never going to happen. I've seen a lot of chatter about Jalen Green. A lot of that coming across my desk. Womp womp. Damn, that sucks. That really sucks to hear that people aren't happy with him. I know coming out of the draft, people really liked him, and it's too bad that it's really too bad. You hate to see this happen to players when they turn out to be what everybody with a brain maybe saw ahead of time, and before, hypothetically, you were the digital Paul Revere, you were still doing the same shit. People just rejected his ideas at first, and they stoned him and cast him from society, so to speak. And then in the end, he kind of was always fucking right, wasn't he? Hypothetically, that guy. If that guy were to exist and I could get him on the show and I could do an hour with him, I'd love to sit down. I would love to sit down with the guy who had the stones 5 years ago to say, I don't think Jalen Green is going to be good. And then, a year after that at that point we had seen him play, was like, I still think he's not good. How about that? I'd love to do an hour with that guy. What would I ask him if he were here? How does it feel? How does it feel to just get this weight off of your chest that you were just right about something? And you felt it in your gut and you said it and you just stood by it. How does it make you feel knowing, looking back, that you were right? What would that guy even say? It's unknowable. It's unknowable. He would probably be like, feels pretty good. And honestly, I'm never the guy to do the victory lap thing because that's just not who I am. He's like, but in this instance, I would consider it. I'm making plans. I've called the Chamber of Commerce to see if I can, section off a city block, maybe throw a little block party for me being right about this and having the foresight to say it before anybody else. I'm literally the Norman Rockwell meme. That's literally me. If I was interviewing that guy, I bet that's what he would say. Now, I do all of that. I say all of that. just to say, I am still very much being a sore loser, and I'm not watching any of the games. It might take me until the conference finals to like get over it, just like basketball. You know, that's what sucked about Michigan State losing in it was the Elite Eight, right, to Auburn. Because it's like, no matter where they lost, I was not going to watch the next round. And it just sucked that the next round was the Final Four, and those games were great, right? I did watch the Natty, though. We didn't cover it on this show because I didn't. Who cares? At that point, who cares? Once Duke got eliminated, you know what I mean? It's like, all right. Yeah, I just can't watch. I can't watch the second round. I think Knicks Celtics is going to be a really good series. I can't watch it. And, I need to distance myself from it because, you know what I mean? You just kind of lose it. The Lions, when they lost in the divisional to the Commanders, the next round was the championship game, right? The NFC championship game. Yeah, didn't watch the NFC championship game. I didn't watch it. Because you know what I mean? I just can't. Like when the Lions lost in the NFC championship game, it fucking sucked watching the Super Bowl. Because at that point, the Lions are the most recent example of like the 49ers playing a game. So you know when you watch the Super Bowl broadcast, you're just going to see highlights from that game. And it's just, you know what I mean? You're like, don't make this about us. Leave us out of this. But they have to talk about it. I just can't. I don't want to hear, even though they'll only talk about the Pistons series for like maybe the first game. And like once it gets to halftime, they won't fucking talk about it anymore. You know what I mean? I still just don't want to. I can't watch Brunson. I can't do it. It's going to make me sick to my stomach. I kind of sneaky want them to beat the Celtics, but I don't, because if they do, then by the time I am ready to watch again and it's the conference finals, and I'm still watching the fucking Knicks, I'm going to be like, damn it, you know? Because at that point it would be probably, if the Knicks won, probably the Cavs. Well, I don't know. The Pacers, they just win a game. So I don't know. John Halliburton, was he cursing the... Well, I guess we can't say he was cursing the Pacers because they won the series, like pretty convincingly, like minus sans Gary Trent. That series would have been over a game or two, a game quicker. Yeah, game quicker. John Halliburton, not allowed at the games anymore. That's too bad. Just not really in the mood to talk about basketball, despite the fact that I've done it for the last like 5 to 7 minutes. So I'm saying all of that to say, we also haven't really gotten that many emails in the last couple of days since we did the last episode that were like really about sports. In fact, we got emails that were mostly about like problems. So I think we're doing like a therapy episode today. I think that's what this is going to turn into, which might fuck up my vibes, honestly. So if it's a short runtime, it's because these emails bummed me out and or my son woke up, or yeah, actually it's probably that. If that would be the real reason why it ends. But yeah, you guys got some problems. That's the theme of the weekend, which is too bad. We had a decently chill weekend here. This jacket that I'm wearing, by the way, is very loud. It's almost cartoonishly loud. I'll try to stop moving. I don't know how disruptive that's going to be. I can hear it, and that's not good. Even though I'm here and I'm the one wearing it. I apologize if that has been a problem. It will continue to. I'm not taking this off. I'm not taking this jacket off. I'm not fucking taking it off. Don't ask me to do that. copinghoursubs@gmail.com, spelled phonetically. Email available in the description wherever it is that you listen to this program. Let's do this first one from Tom. Bathroom Tom, Wizards fan Tom. Some of you may know him by his preferred nomenclature, Hot Tom. Lawyer Tom. Also Lawyer Tom. He's back. He's got an update for us. Subject line. Tom, welcome back to the show, brother. Subject line, French invasion. A relationship advice question. Hey, Nick, just got back home from law school basketball and a night with Victoria, my French girlfriend, 6 months and 1 day deep. I guess I got a question for you, but it's something a bit big, and I need a ruling here. Obviously, it's been long enough that I feel pretty strongly about her, and I've been thinking about the idea of France, and it's an attractive idea for a 24-year-old with little prospects in terms of a future at this point in time. I have a potential opportunity to go for a master's in France for a year at a school outside of Paris, which would allow me to practice law out there potentially and have some more time with her. At the same time, she is taking the New York bar and is already a lawyer in France, but she is kind of unsure about coming back to the United States. Can I break this for 2 seconds? That seems accomplished as hell, right? that she's... That's insane. Is that like how... I don't know how to ask the question. I don't need to disrupt the flow of your email. I guess I just interjected just to be like, damn, that's crazy. And then did not provide any analysis at all. I just kind of stopped it just to stop it. Back to the email, Tom. Sorry. I see both sides of it, and to be honest, if it was not for a serious relationship at this stage, I'd be going the military route to start my legal career. I guess I'm just wondering from an outside perspective what you think, and could even take some input from Maddie on this. It's a rare opportunity to do this, and ultimately everything being so unknown at this point, I'm just scrambled. For context, Victoria is an amazing girlfriend from Paris, though originally from, I don't know what this word is or where this place is. I'm not going to try to, I've never heard what this is before. It has to be a French town, maybe a village, perhaps. I'm not going to try to say it. I'll look like an asshole. I'm not going to do it. But she has inspired Tom to quit weed after 8 years of consistent use. She has been a girlfriend who has been able to make me more honest through her understanding nature and who can deal with my rougher edges better than any of the past girls I've dated. We've gone to Puerto Rico together. She was the first school crush I've ever had the balls to ask out, and we see how that went, and has helped me start to go to therapy and has been very patient with the... I don't think we need to keep... I mean, this is a... Brother, I think you hit a home run. I mean, the rest of it is just like more good shit about her. You know what I mean? Like, what I think is really interesting is the way that you phrased... who has inspired me to quit weed after 8 years of consistent, not like got me to quit or like forced me to stop, inspired you to quit. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, like that relationship of how she helps you do that. And like I don't know how to phrase it, but you know what I mean? It's crazy. I gotta be honest with you. I did not ask Maddie about. I didn't read this to her. I did not consult the inner circle because I don't think there's like a question. So I'm confused. The question is like, do you go to France? Yeah, right. Okay, so going to France for a year because she's doing shit in New York, but when she goes back, she doesn't know if she's gonna want to come back to the United States. Dog, go away, Tom. Go away from the America. Go away from America. This is insane. I don't think there's like a, I don't know. I just, you seem like a guy who just like, you're very much an outdoor cat. You know what I mean? This guy, Tom, Bathroom Tom, Wizards fan Tom. Some of you may know him by his preferred nomenclature, Hot Tom. He is very much living life outdoor cat style. He's always outside. He's emailing me from Puerto Rico, which was a couple months ago. Emailing us, he's like, I'm on a cruise in the Arctic Circle, like taking a shit. And you're like, okay, right on. A week and a half later, he's like, I'm in Lisbon. And then but then 2 days later, he's like, yeah, I've been in DC for 2 weeks. You're like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I've been in school for 2 weeks. Oh, okay. He's just around. And I just think maybe settling down, not like settling down, but I don't know. You'll be rooted for what you said, at least a year. I don't know. In like a completely different place. Maybe could be super cathartic and could also be with a woman like this who inspired you, by the way. Very powerful words. Very, very powerful choice of phrasing from a guy whose entire job, he's a lawyer, whose entire job is to like understand the nuances of the English language. So you get what I'm saying? I just think those words that you chose are valuable. Because even if, you know, Tom, you're like, oh, but yeah, like I always joke about how it's funny that the lawyers who listen to the show are actually all fucking idiots. I think Tom is sort of in that, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying he's an idiot, but you get what I'm saying. The type of like, just like the I don't know. I don't want to be like the humor of it, but you know what I mean? Stop trying to, I just need to try. I need to stop trying to explain it. You hit a home run, dude. What's the ruling? I can't imagine. I'm trying to think of what the case is to stay in the United States. Like, here's this woman. I don't know, Tom. You've sort of lived out a year and a half of your relationship history on this show. And so I don't know how much of the audience does. I at least remember a lot of the details. Some of the, well, I don't want to say some of, but probably most of the emails that you've sent in about your relationship stuff, I don't do on the show because I'm like, well, okay, this is not a content one, right? Or sometimes I think you'll even say that. But like, I don't know, man. You've been through some stuff with people in the last year and a half since you started emailing in the show about your relationships and your various just your log of how damn well traveled you are. About a year and a half of that. And so I just think this is like an all-time, just what you hear like people do it like in this is you know what, this is an opportunity. This is what it is. This is a very like rom-com opportunity. What do you mean you're a fucking lawyer and you have the opportunity to go to school in fucking Paris for a year? But while I'm there, the potential love of my life is also French, and the timing of it, I don't know, brother. I don't know. You guys meet here, but then she's like, oh, but I don't know if I'm going to go back to the United States, and once I go back to France, you know what I mean? I don't think I'm coming back here. And you're like, oh, what is that going to mean for us? Like, no. That's like the second act, maybe. I don't know. And then by the end of the movie, you get this opportunity. I can go to Paris, and we can be together. We can extend this for another year, and then maybe I can convince her. You know what I mean? Tom, you need a ruling on that. Brother, you're living in a screenplay right now. Congratulations. This is who's the woman that did Past Lives? What was that person's name? Who did that? Celine Song? Is it Celine Song? Director of Past Lives. There's another one that she's got coming out with, is it Dakota Johnson, Pedro Pascal, and is it Chris Evans? Who is it? I don't remember. That's what you're living in. Tom. Yes. Brother, you should go. The Wizards will be okay. They'll keep Cooper Flag safe, brother. copinghoursubs@gmail.com, spelled phonetically. Email available in the description, wherever it is that you listen to this program. Well, I tell you what, I kind of feel bad because there was an email that is good, but I'll just do it. I don't know how to explain this. It's just so much. It's from Cypher, or I'm sorry, it's from Caleb. Brother, I don't care. I don't want to do a sports email, but you put like sub questions at the end of the email that I would just rather answer those. Because your email here, it's just so long, and I'm so sorry, I don't care. What makes a true fan? It's a good email. It's the thing. It's a good email. I'm sorry. I'm being mean. I just don't want to read all of it just for me to be like, at the end of it, I don't care. And I only want to read the questions you put at the end. So I'm just going to do that. All right. Because then I'm still reading. You know what I mean? So thank you for the email. But you said at the end, obligatory basketball take. Lakers won't win another championship until LeBron is off the team. Yeah, probably. Is that a hot take, do you think? I'd say it's probably medium. Maybe medium rare, but yeah, I think you're probably right. You asked, where do I get my hats? Normally this is something that I would love to gatekeep. I have no reason to do that, though. I know how many of you have lost your hair. And I'm, as somebody who, that's not necessarily why I wear hats. I genuinely just, that's my new Funko Pop, honestly. Once I stopped collecting those and then sold all of them or fucking lost them or lost some of them in like a flood and it sucked. It just became hats. That's been my thing for the last couple of years is just hats. And I know like Anyways, Urban Outfitters. That's priority number one. Urban Outfitters. You're going to be spending a lot of money on hats. It's like 35 to like $50. But that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good, but they have the best hats. PacSun's fine. I don't like being in PacSun. It just makes me feel just feel bad being in there. It just makes me feel bad about myself being in PacSun. You're just around. I don't know, man. I was at Merchandise Mart here in Chicago the other day. Hey, I saw that fucker, Jussie Smollett. How do you say his last name? Jussie Smollett? I think I saw him. Like, I brushed shoulders with him. This happened like 2 days ago. I was just like in there walking around. I don't know. It's like just watching rich people do rich people shit, I guess. I don't know. And at one point, I go to leave, and I swear to God, he was walking in, and I walk right past him. We like make eye contact. He's like, "Wait, what the fuck?" I know he's in Chicago right now because he's in the middle of like a him versus the city civil case for like $130,000 worth of damages or something. I don't know. For those of you who don't know, he was the one who staged during Trump's first term. Jussie Smollett, have we figured out how to say it? The research department hasn't gotten back in my ear about that yet. Staged an attack here in downtown Chicago in Streeterville, where two dudes wearing MAGA hats like jumped him, and they were like, "You suck because you're black," and it was like specifically staged as like a racially charged thing, and we later found out he like paid those guys to do it, and he was like trying to like incite like a political, I don't know, like a moment, like a revolution. I don't know, but he paid two guys to jump him wearing MAGA hats. And then this was also around the time, I think, that who was the driver? Is it Bubba Wallace? I was gonna say Bubba Watson. That's the golfer. Is it Bubba Wallace? That was the whole thing with there was the noose in his locker. I stayed out of that one. I didn't know what the fuck happened there. People were like, "That's just a knot that you'd see in an auto repair shop." I'm like, "It is? Jesus." I don't know what happened with that. I just remember there was a thread that connected those two events somehow. I don't remember what it was. I swear to God, I just saw him the other day. What am I supposed to say to him? Anything? I don't think so. I'm assuming it was, by the way. I really think it was. Like, it was weird. It was definitely him. Like, the further removed I am from it, you could argue that is just me trying to convince myself of my own delusion, which there is nothing more dangerous than a man who believes his own delusions. I think that was that motherfucker, Jussie Smollett. I think that was him. Okay. Add that one to the list. First famous person I've seen in a while. Maddie, one time, my girlfriend saw Chance and his wife, R.I.P., riding bikes around Streeterville, actually, which they lived down there. Heard mixed things about Chance's wife. I heard sometimes the encounters I always were like, no, she's such a sweet woman. She's so nice. Some people said the complete opposite, though. It was either like she is the sweetest person in the world or like she's the rudest person in the world. Tended to believe the nice allegations, though. I mean, Chance made such a nice album about her. Turns out nobody fucking wanted to hear it. Nobody wanted to hear an entire album of Chance the Rapper being like, "I fucking love my wife. God damn it, I love my wife. Holy shit. Nobody loves my wife the way that I love my wife. And hot water is like in a hot shower." And I forgot to mention this. I fucking love my wife. Made an entire album about that, and people were like, "Oh, okay." Very, very cool, Chance the Rapper. I saw Chance the Rapper 1 month after it was like goddamn 2 weeks after he won his first Grammy. I was at a Bulls game, Bulls Clippers, Staples Center. Well, I guess it could have been at Staples Center. I meant to say United Center. Paul Zipser was on the team. Mirotic was on the team. This was like still Lob City Clippers on the very tail end of Lob City, but it was 2016, I think, 2000 maybe 17. Yeah, probably 2017. And Chance was there. Scottie Pippen was there. It was wild. It's wild. Got to see, like JJ Redick was playing for the Clippers. Very funny in retrospect to be like, yeah, I saw JJ Redick play as a basketball player. It feels very weird to say that, but also it's not that uncommon. Like, I can't imagine how many of you listening to this are like, yeah, I've seen JJ Redick play. I know, but isn't it just weird? Like Steve Nash would be another one where you see Steve Nash play. I never did. I saw Chris Paul play when he was in New Orleans, like early Chris Paul. Is that the earliest one? Yeah, I mean, that would have been like the going to work Pistons. Went to that game in, I think, a Ben Wallace jersey. We had all of them in retrospect. Very cool that we had all of them. We had, all of them. Can you imagine having 5 NBA jerseys I mean, some of you out there do. Collecting jerseys as an adult, I don't. It's just too expensive. That's way too expensive. Some of you are going to be like, well, you could just get the knockoffs from like Temu. Not anymore. Not anymore. It used to be in this country that you could get fake shit for basically free on Temu and on Wish.com. Not anymore. Not anymore. We had to stop ordering from Shein in this house. That is fucked up and that is wrong. Coping hour subs, I don't remember why. Oh, right. I was still in the middle of answering questions. The question was, where do I get my hats? And I was like, I saw Jussie Smollett. You asked if I'm playing any games currently. Oblivion Remaster, perhaps. No. Very good call on the Oblivion Remaster. I really want to play it. I really do. Was it like $50, $40, $50? Yeah, that's fine. It looks great. The gameplay that I've seen has been great. I might even wait for it to just go on sale though. But I'm really excited to get into that. Otherwise, Hogwarts Legacy kind of. I got sorted, got put into Slytherin. I was like, nice. Kind of, I don't know, Harry Potter, man. It's such a bizarre world. I mean, the first movie, Hagrid just kind of walks into the bank and he's like, and you see all of the bankers are just goblins. And Hagrid kind of starts going on this rant about like, yeah, they control all the world wealth, all the wealth in the world, and these guys are in control of everything. These guys are the sort of the puppet master style of our world. And you're like, what's this all about? Every time Hagrid mentions the goblins throughout the rest of the series, he keeps talking about how they're just in control. These goblins are in control of a disproportionate amount of the wealth in the wizarding world. And you're like, again with this, Hagrid? We're still doing this. We're in the Deathly Hallows, brother. You can't keep talking about this. Just a very, very funny theme. Surely somebody's pointed this out before. Surely somebody has. There's no way I haven't been beat to the punch on this. If not by months or years, like 15 years. Surely somebody has brought this up before. Other than that, I don't know, PGA Tour. I've been playing golf games. Been getting back into a little bit of 2K. The playoffs gave me some juice to just play like a couple seasons of GMing in 2K. Been doing that a little bit. Made a Vegas expansion team. You know, I'm drafted Cooper Flag. I'm figuring things out. Over there. But other than that, nothing fun. Just haven't had the time. Just dad stuff lately. Been kicking my ass and I just been super busy, and he's just taking up a lot of time. So I haven't gotten to play video games, which is too bad. The last question you said, is there any behind the scenes intel about the Shoot Around podcast? Because you miss it. Behind the scenes intel about the Shoot Around podcast and whether or not it will return. No, there's nothing to say. I have nothing. No, I would be surprised if it did. I would just be surprised. I believe that when we stopped doing it, we were all probably like, yeah, maybe we'll do it again when the season starts again. That's what we all agreed on, was to like come back around to it. I don't know if I should be saying this. Actually, I'm saying all this out loud. I don't know if this is my story. I don't think it matters. I mean, it really doesn't matter. You're curious. You like the show. It's not like we're hiding anything. All we said was that we'll reconvene before this next season starts. I would just be kind of surprised if, by that point in time, maybe, I don't know. But we all kind of stopped because we were just all doing a lot of things. And like on my end of things, no, it wasn't hard in the grand scheme of things to block off 2 hours once a week to do the show with them. But it was one of Maddie's days off. And so even those 2 hours are like, we could go to the grocery store. I don't know. It just, it's hard for everybody. And, all of us kind of had our own things. And so, yeah, maybe it'll come back, or maybe there'll be some alternative in a different form or something. I don't know. Dude, it's something that I have such a hard time with is I don't really like doing other shows because I just don't do well. I don't play well with others. And this, we have to give the ball back and forth to each other and have a conversation. I don't like doing it anymore. I just don't. Unless it was like Jim Nance. I would love to talk to Jim Nance. Or Cade again. I think I could get it. I think I could do it, by the way. I'm not confident in the route that I would take, but I think I would know how to approach getting the opportunity to start the conversation to do another interview with Cade. I think I would know who to contact. I think I could pull it off. But I think the appearance fee would it would set me back. If I'm trying to do the math on it would have to be 50. I bet it would be $50,000, if not 75. Now I'm just trying to think of who the biggest guest is that I could get this summer. If I was actually I've thought about doing that as just pre-taping 6 interviews. The problem on this show is that I don't know. They fit in a weird way on the show. I just don't know if they work. Because that's just not what this show is I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. I've liked the ones that I've done. But I would, I know Jacob would do it, aka Rusty Buckets. Rudy would do it, producer extraordinaire. But I would also want to get I could maybe Johnny Kane, Kevin, get Mr. OC on the show, maybe. I don't know. His schedule's weird. I remember one time I asked Kevin O'Connor to come on the Bunny Cardigan show in July, just to do some off-season shit. And I was like, hey, man, just checking in, blah, blah, blah. Would you want to do the show? And he was like, no, it's the off-season. I don't do shit in the off-season. And I was like, wow, I really respect that. Completely unplugging and turning off to, that job in the off-season. I was like, okay. It sucked to hear, but I was like, all right, yeah, I respect that. So if I were to do that, I would probably need to get that in the can soon, and I don't know. I don't know if that would work. I guess the Combine is going to be happening pretty soon, and that's always in Chicago. So I'll just hang out. I'll just hang out by the arena. What is it? The Allstate Arena? They do it where the Sky play. I'm looking out the window right now. I can see where the Sky play. So all that means is that if I take out my spy binoculars that I use to surveil, and I just point them down there, I can see all of the famous people. I'll be able to see, I'll have eyes on Danny Ainge, for real. And people like that, people of that ilk. If Malika Andrews is right there, I'll be like, if I see a woman in a 3-piece suit, I'll be like, that's Malika Andrews. I might see Stephen A. Smith all the way from here. Stephen A. Smith all the way from here? Yeah, no, that made sense. Didn't sound right as I said it out loud. That did make sense. Okay, yeah, I'll just camp out. I'll do Man on the Street by myself. I don't know. I think there's going to be a pendulum swing with Man on the Street. it kind of went away to a degree. The gay son or thought daughter style of content that doesn't exist as much in the metasphere, the zeitgeist, the cultural zeitgeist. You don't see them that much. I do think it's fucked up though that RocketMoney does commercials in the style of like TikTok content. So like they literally do it like it's a fake man on the street, like, oh, do you have a Netflix account? And they're like, no. And they're like, that's not true. I have all of your data on this phone already. And I see that you do. And the person's like, what the fuck? Who are you? And they're like, we're RocketMoney. We're one click away from you. You're like, what the fuck? And then it just goes right back into First Take. I don't think that's good. I think it's so weird. The programming during like the First Take slot, honestly, the 10 to 12 Central Time slot, the commercials are like, it's either for like RocketMoney or like Rhino pills and then like hair loss shit. And you're like, wow, you're really getting a glimpse at what the target demographic is. And like Red Bull and fucking Monster and shit like that. Energy drinks. Maybe a little bit of Celsius or something. Who's the deodorant company that has Sydney Sweeney doing promos for them right now? Listen, they're great, but they make me really uncomfortable to watch when anybody else is in the room. I like watching. Okay. I don't mean to say, yeah, those Sydney Sweeney commercials where she's in the bath. I prefer to watch those when nobody else is around. No, of course I do. But I just mean I need them to stop, because when there's even one other person in the room, it's just like, I don't like it. I don't like how it feels.